I am honored by the applause, and I really thank the Northern Trust for the generosity for this very special organization and very special program that they are beginning to do. You just got my resume of who I am. I'm a retired physician and an artist. And I thought I'd tell you a little bit about my art, because I will be part of this whole program. My art is really humanistic in its approach. And what I do is paint portraits of individuals based on a message theme, in short, a social realist. Often my work deals with illnesses for persons dealing with the illnesses that I took care of as a physician. And when I do my work, I interview my subjects, pointedly asking them questions that are pertinent to the theme, and I write a narrative of the work. And currently I am videoing the individuals that I paint also. And my series that I did 3 years ago was started with the Physicians for Human Rights, which was the recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize. And I extended it to the Torture Survivors Center at NYU, New York University. And those portraits were shown at the Langone Center at NYU, which is the medical center. And they were called Advocates for Immigration Beyond Survival. I have shown at the Coral Springs Museum several times, and I befriended a woman, Barbara O'Keefe. Barbara O'Keefe was the director and founder of the Coral Springs Museum. She just recently retired. And she called me one day, having seen my new series of, this new series that I just described, Beyond Survival. And she said, there are 2 women that have come to me who are very dedicated in human rights, and I want them to come and see your work. And so I met Elizabeth Sanchez and Deborah Saka. And I was so impressed with these women. I can only describe, when they came in, we immediately bonded. It was unbelievable, because their passions for empathy towards the world is what I feel. And their passions about human rights and changing the world to a better place is something that is inside of me. So we bonded. It was quite remarkable. They saw my work, and immediately there was no question that they wanted it. And I was honored that they wanted my work. And I donated it to them, whatever they want, and whatever I can do to help them. I said immediately, I'm there for you. It was only a very short visit, but it was quite remarkable that we had the same feelings, and it continues. The more I'm with them, the more that feeling of compassion and empathy towards the world is what we see and what we want to happen. And you have to understand, this room must understand that if you're here to support them. It's very special. The 2 women created this international solidarity of human rights. It is a signatory to the United Nations Global Compact, the largest voluntary corporate citizenship initiative in the world. They have implemented its 10 universal principles, which encourage responsible business practices in the areas of human rights, labor relations, environmental protection, and anti-corruption. On December 10, 1948, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was adopted and proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly. And all of those articles that this project represents was written by Eleanor Roosevelt, which in itself, she was one of the major forces in our society in America for understanding the other human being that we were with. Deborah, I think, when she was in Venezuela, I always tell her, I think she was the Beyonce of Venezuela.
Better.
And Elizabeth, I always said that you were the Oprah of Venezuela. But something happened to these girls when they came into this country. They decided frivolity was not what they wanted. They wanted something more serious about life. And what else, as we get older, can we do for this world but something that's more serious? And Elizabeth is really the visionary of the international solidarity for human rights. But Deborah passionately is the one that makes the technology work and the things work, and she's the left brain of this, and Elizabeth is the right brain. Is that right? I think they agree. Initially, what they wanted to do was the route to human rights around the state of Florida. But as they got started, they met Miami-Dade College, and their home was here at Miami-Dade College. They began their projects, and as described before, there were plazas that were built, paintings that were accepted, and they go onward. And what their vision was, is to have art representing each of the articles as described. But art is a communicator. It teaches us who we are. And it's probably the best means of education that we have, because visual art and narrative art are the way we learn. We learn from the classics, we learn from the masters who paint, and we learn from actors, and we learn from poets, and we learn from novelists, and whatever. But art is a major communicator to teach us what humanism is. And that's what these girls have done. They are artists in themselves. They worked like artists. They created the idea, and they keep working at it, and they are passionate about keeping at it, and their vision will be happening because of their focus and what they care about. Their whole life is built on this, and that's all they care about. I believe that there is a plan in life.
Indeed.
And I'm going to tell you a story, because I think it's very much what this is all about. We met, and 1 week later, Barbara O'Keefe, who had told them about me, called me very upset. And she was very distressed. And she said, Deborah's heart stopped. She was taken to the hospital out west. She's surviving, but she hasn't woken up yet. I went to the hospital. Devorah was very lucky. When she was found with her heart stopped, I hope you can all hear me. The hospital she went to knew exactly the avant-garde medical care, which I had learned at Columbia. I am connected with Columbia, connected with many universities now. But they had cooled her body down, and then they were slowly warming her up, having restarted her heart. And that saved her. The cooling down saved her. I appeared as she was warming up and a little bit shaky. I stood in front of her. She opened her eyes and she said, "Wilma." I was so moved because I knew that if she could remember my name, which was 1 week before when she first met me, it was pretty incredible. And I said, "You don't have to worry anymore. You will be well because your memory is there, and that's the most important thing." She certainly survived, as you can see. She's blossoming now. But I think this is a sign that she has such a dedication to have a project go onward and finish the message of their vision. Always they have focused on the project, and always they do not know the word no. They only know yes. The two women have such energy and such persuasive skills. I mean, look at these people in this room. It's amazing. That I do not doubt that this will go on to be one of the most successful educational forums to show how art is the best communicator. I believe Devorah's heart recovery is a sign of the heartfelt compassion in the world through the knowledge of human rights. And I believe this pavilion, which we're here to begin the dedication of, I will be part of that, so I'm very happy. But I do believe it will definitely be the icon that they wish it to be, as a focus of education for the world. So I hope that everyone in this room supports this pavilion and thinks about their project further, because their project has meaning in our world today. So thank you so much for having me up here to give you my feelings of what you have done and what you were going to do.
Thank you.